Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see more of the Fly Route podcast. Also, I got to talk to you about my sponsors, Pick'em Wars. It's free to play. The link is in the description of this video. You just pick the winners of the NFL games on Sunday, and the players with the most correct picks get a share of a $500 prize. I am taking a little bit of a different approach coming in this week. I'm going to take a couple more dogs and let's see if we can get back on top and rebound after a little bit of a subpar week. Now, before we get into that, I got to talk to you about my sponsors, Pick'em Wars. They gave out hundreds of dollars last week for people that literally played a free game. All they did was predict the games that happen this upcoming Sunday by the spreads, and the players with the most correct picks get a share of a grand cash prize, direct PayPal deposit. You can invite your friends. It's that easy. The pick is yours. Pick 'em Wars. Let's get into the Fly 5 picks. All right, the first is the Bengals versus the Lions. I have the Bengals minus 2.5. The Lions are going to take another heartbreaking loss, and it's going to be sad to see. Dan Campbell's tear-filled post-game presser, I think, definitely energized his team, will cause a lot of the guys in that locker room to want to buy in more and fight harder for their guy. But it's not going to matter. And that's the difficult part about this. The Bengals are a really good team, surprisingly so for many people. And I think that it's going to be relatively a mismatch. The Bengals are coming off their own heartbreaking close loss in OT. The difference was they had it against Aaron Rodgers. Every single member of that Bengals locker room left that game feeling even more confident than when they walked into it. Not just in themselves and in their team, but especially their quarterback in Joe Burrow. And that energizes the team in a different way. So I expect a bounce back from a team that is good that just took a loss. Last but not least, understand this. Let's talk numbers. Cincinnati's defense is 7th in the league when it comes to points per game. That is shockingly good if you think about it. That's quite underrated. That's going to give them the little extra oomph that they need against a Lions team that is really not even scoring in the top half of the league. All right, let's move on to the next pick. Next pick, Chargers versus the Ravens. Oh, wow. This, for me, is the game of the week. These two teams have consistently put on electric fire shows with their offenses and made key defensive plays that have made exciting games all season long. Chargers plus 3.5. First off, I'm not even going to have to say that the Chargers win this game outright. But if I'm being honest with you just right now, the Chargers are a better team than Baltimore. They are a more complete team than Baltimore. Better on defense right now. They are better on offense just by being more complete and more healthy. So this is the second straight week the Chargers are going on the road as dogs against a team that they are structurally better against. This was one of my two picks that hit last week. Chargers plus 3.5 is a safe bet to me. Next pick for me is the Texans versus the Colts. And I really like this game, actually. The Texans are plus 10.5. That is a huge spread. Double-digit spreads, I understand a lot of people are really anxious about these, but I love being able to fade a good double-digit spread, and the Texans have been surprisingly competitive this year, and people are still not catching on or willing to give David Culley and that staff that he has put together the respect that they deserve for putting out a respectable product on the field that is competitive against their opponents each and every single week on their backup rookie quarterback. First off, the Texans have been 3-2 against the spread this season, and the only two teams to actually cover the massive spreads that they got against the Texans were the Browns and the Bills, two top 10 teams in the NFL. That is not the Colts. The Colts are bad, and that's not like they can't make the playoffs because they're in the AFC South, but the Colts are not a good football team yet. Do not get fooled by their Monday Night Miracle showdown with Lamar Jackson. This is a trap game for me because people do not respect the Texans. Texans plus 10.5. Next game. All right, this was my runner-up for game of the week. Arizona versus the Cleveland Browns. I am taking the Cards plus 2.5. I don't understand how this is happening again, but somehow the Browns are favored against the team that they are worse than a second week in a row. Arizona Cardinals score more points per game and give up less points a game than the Browns over this season so far. They are almost 15% more likely to score in the red zone when they get there than the Browns. Cleveland ranks 25th in red zone efficiency versus Arizona's 5th. Teams have been able to come in and consistently put up points on this Cleveland Browns defense and score in bunches, and Baker is starting to show that he is not able to keep up with the fireworks show when the moment really counts. Right now, I like Cards plus 2.5. This one's going to be an interesting matchup. Next game, and my last game that I am calling here, is Dallas versus New England. I like this. Dallas -4. I don't know how this spread is so close. I think Dallas might blow the doors off the Patriots. This Dallas team is actually really good. And this Patriots team literally lost to the Texans last week. Like, very close. Nearly lost to the Texans last week. Dallas is second in the league in points per game at 34, second in yards per game, number 1 in touchdowns per game, and points per play. The New England Patriots with Mac Jones has shown you literally nothing the entire season that makes you believe that they can keep up with that type of production, no matter what their defense does. Let's not even get into talking about Trayvon Diggs. That man's a literal pick machine. And the Patriots this year have uncharacteristically loved turnovers. I think this is an easy matchup for Dallas. Being able to cover -4, it's just going to be tough. Patriots are bottom 7 in the league in turnover differential, bottom 7 in the league in points per game, 31st in touchdowns per game, and red zone efficiency. Dallas has one of the most prolific offenses in the league. Smash it. Safest game of the week.